little blunt one time. Sip a little drink, get drunk one time, yeah. Tryna make you up and up one time. Hit the lean, pull you up a double cup one time, yeah. One time, one time, one time, one time, yeah. One time, one time, one time, one time, yeah. Smoke a little blunt.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Shauna K, and I'm back with another video. I'm actually back with part 2 of my experience as a foster child. So first things first, if you haven't seen part 1, stop this video right now. Go check out part 1 so you'll be all caught up about what we are talking about and where we are in this story. Also, I will put the link in the description. So just press that little arrow, go down there, click that link, and watch the first video. Okay, so before I start, I want to say for all of the love, the people who haven't even commented, but they just viewed the video, and the support I have gotten. Literally, the video probably only been up 10 hours, and I've been getting like a lot of love and support. So I want to, to thank you guys for that, because y'all have no idea how tough it is rehatching a lot of this stuff and talking about a lot of this stuff. And even sometimes when you there's things you keep in the front of your head, and then there's things that you push way far back. And even talking about some stuff yesterday, it made me remember things I forgot about. You know what I'm saying? So, and like I said, and once again, it's tough, when you think about the other people who were potentially affected by all this going on, or even by me telling this story. I'm pretty sure it could be probably embarrassing for them too. But like I said yesterday, this is my story. This is the way I remember it. I am not in a place anymore. I was at a place in my life where I was really angry and vengeful, and you know what I mean. But I am at a happy place where I am open, and I'm in a healing place where I am open to discuss and to talk about a lot of things that I endured. And I think I said it in the last video. If I didn't, I was saying that this is just not my story. This is my family story in a sense, but I'm just giving you guys my cut of it, of like a 4 to 5 way perspective if you was to add my siblings in. So I want to jump right in. This video probably is not going to be as long as the other one, because the other one was like an introduction and me just kind of going in detail and depth about so many different things. I do want to touch on, I spoke about yesterday about molestation that that occurred while with me being with this particular family. I didn't, like I said, I didn't scratch the surface. Let's just be clear with that. Like I said, things continued on for quite some time. It stopped for a while, but like I said, I got older and my body changed, and he couldn't keep his hands to himself. I don't want to necessarily talk too much about that today. Yeah, I didn't sleep well last night, so I don't really want to talk too much about that today. Like I said, it's tough to talk about that part in particular sometimes. And I started off saying that, talking about that first, because I kind of wanted to get it out of the way and, say out loud that what he did was wrong. I have to even repeat that to myself sometime, like, you are a victim. And because there were times that I was made to feel like maybe I did something to make him think that that's what I wanted. Or it was even times where he was doing these acts to me and he would ask me like if I liked it. You know what I'm saying? And I start believing like, well, maybe I'm doing something, you know what I'm saying, to make him think that this is okay, or maybe I'm doing something that, you know, that makes him think that I like, you know, what he doing. But before we get too far into that, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, put your comments down below, turn on your post notifications. Also, I want you guys to put your comments down below if you have ever endured someone, if it's been you yourself that experienced foster care, that or molestation. I would love to hear your stories. I would love to even possibly, if you guys are comfortable with that, talking about it on some of my videos and bring awareness and bring a voice to the voiceless, and people who's embarrassed, because a lot of time in the I don't want to just say in the Black community, I feel like in families period, things don't get talked about, and they just get kind of laid by the wayside, and you guys cover up feelings, and then 30 years down the line, you trying to figure out why you can't trust anybody, or you deal with separation anxiety from your kids, or you don't like affection, or you know, it all this stuff is what I'm gonna talk about, because it affects you long term. Everything, you know. My first introduction to sex was being molested. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like all that matters. I'm a married woman. I'm a mom. So your outlook on life and the way you handle your kids and who you let your kids be around, all that is affected, okay? But yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna talk too much more about my personal thing. It was really tough for me to talk about it yesterday. I got through it like a real little thug. No, I'm kidding. But I got through it, and it did get worse. Clothes did start coming off. Like I said, I was never penetrated. I was nothing, never. It was like never oral, anything like that. But it was, the clothes started coming off, and there was a lot of things being done that shouldn't been done, okay? So let's move on from there. Like I said, don't forget, if you have ever been a victim, please contact me. I would love to see what you are doing or done to get past things, or if you want to know what I do, what I've done to got past things, okay? So I wanted to start off with some of the things I've learned from and I've carried with me from being with this family. One thing I've learned is to love on your kids. You know what I'm saying? Love on your kids, because although me and my sister was going through things, there were times that I know they've shared with me, the boys have shared with me, that, you know, they wish things were different too. So sometimes you get so caught up in your own stuff that you don't understand that they going through things too. Their mom was going through things too. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I want to be clear that I don't hate this family. You know, they're people just like me, and they hurt just like me. And I do believe hurt people hurt people. You know what I'm saying? And yeah. Okay. But I've learned some of the weirdest things. You know what I'm saying? One of the things that she taught me is she's the reason, and my mother too, I gotta give my mother credit, but my foster mom is the reason why I always keep my house like super duper clean. You know, she used to always tell me, you never know who's gonna pop up at your house. You know, I don't like guests uninvited. I don't like people to pop up at my house, but it is true. You never know when somebody's gonna pop up over, and you want your house to be presentable. You know what I'm saying? Always get up and get dressed. You never know if someone is gonna pop up. That is true. Always be up and be dressed. You never know who's gonna pop up, and you want to look presentable. You know, even the way I fold towels to this day, she taught me how to fold towels like that. You know what I mean? Just certain things about being a lady, and I would, like I said, no shade, but I was taught how to carry myself in a way to appear that I was fine. And I learned that from her. And I don't know if that's considered a strength or whatever, or a weakness. It could be a little bit of both, to keep it together when it ain't together. Appear that you're together when you're not. You know what I mean? So, I am her in a lot of ways, you know, as an adult. You know, things I try to escape, it's instilled in me. You know what I'm saying? I'm a part of her just as much as I'm a part of my biological mom and my dad, you know, because she reared me, you know what I mean? So, I just wanted y'all to know that part, because I thought about that a lot last night. Like, sometimes when I say certain things, I'll be like, oh my God, you know what I mean? I'm looking down because I wrote some stuff down that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to touch on today about how being in the foster care affected my communication with my mother, my biological mother, and my family, okay? So I was telling you guys yesterday about the visitation that my siblings and I used to have with our mother. They went from being monitored and to eventually where we were able to have unmonitored visits and actually stay the weekend, okay? So, am I saying a lot? I'm gonna have to go back and look at my videos. I think I say a lot, okay? I know when some of y'all have been in college and stuff, and when you're in school and you just have to present papers, they call them, I cannot remember what they call them, but they basically like, it gives you, it drives you to the next thing you're thinking about. So you won't be sitting up there like, oh yeah, you know what I mean? At least that's what it does for me. So if I'm saying too much, I'm sorry, y'all, okay? So, you see, I was going to say again, but I had to cough at the same time, so it turned into a But we were visiting my mom over, you know, the weekends and stuff like that. And when we were having a visitation that was monitored, sometimes she would miss those. Okay. So when she would miss those, it would be awful for us. I know she'd be like, she would show up late sometimes, but she would freak out because, you know, anything that she do or don't do, is going to be reported back to the judge, you know, when they go back in for court or however for us to, you know, ultimately be returned, because the goal was for us to be returned to her, you know what I mean, for her to get herself in a place where she was able to receive her children. And it took way longer than it should. Like I told y'all yesterday, we were in the system for 5 years, and I am a child care owner, and I went to school for early childhood education. So I learned a lot about like mandated reporting, social work, and stuff like that. And I learned that you can get your kids back pretty fast if you get your shit together, okay? And I don't think she had her shit together. And which affected everything. Is like a domino effect, because her lack thereof put us in a situation to be around people who wasn't doing what exactly they should have been, you know, to keep us in a safe environment. And by her allowing herself to get comfortable, because I believe that she got comfortable with the fact of knowing that we were with a family that when she seen us, we were clean, we were taken care of. You know, she had a relationship with my foster mom. It probably wasn't always the best, but she been to her house and she knew how we lived. So it was kind of like, oh, they fine. And I think that was the vibe. I feel like that was the vibe. You know, everything I'm telling y'all, I have discussed with my mother too. She is a sensitive subject for her. Sometimes it goes left, sometimes it goes right. But at this moment, we're going to go in the one-way street. We're going to go straight down the middle, because this is my story, okay? And I just think she got comfortable with knowing that we were fine, and somebody else had the responsibility of her kids. So I just think she kept living her own life. You know, when we were around her, she was great. You know, we would hang out with her. She was still mama, but I don't think the effort was there. So I naturally start resenting her. So imagine being in foster care and your parent is your superhero. This is the person that is going to remove you from this situation. I can't be back. I can't wait to be back with mama. You know, all this will be over, the molestation, the feeling like a outcast, and then she just don't get it together. You know, so you start thinking like, is she ever gonna get it together? You know, I went from being a baby, almost, I'm 7 years old, to almost a teenager. And okay, a lot have changed. You know what I mean? So I went from this is the person that I know to this is the person that I knew. She became a foreigner to me in a sense. You know, I was still having my visitation with her, but it was like that connection was there. So here I am growing, becoming a woman, and I don't have a connection to no women around me. I'm becoming a woman, but I have no connection to no women around me, not one woman. To girls, they still learning and growing too, because of course I'm in school. To girls or to a few cousins, you know, that we convince our family members to join our church so that we could see them regularly. You know, but they were just about my age, if not a little older. I'm sorry, you know, and I'm just like, my display of what a woman was to take care of your kids, but put yourself first. I knew it wasn't right, and I knew it didn't make sense because I was on the other hand of the spoon. I was on the other hand. So it was like, I knew that couldn't been right because I knew I felt like crap. And these two women are the women that's supposed to protect me. So I knew it couldn't be right, which is why I'm not that way with my own children. It was like I literally did the polar opposite of everything that I was reared, with the exception of a few things, like folding towels good and keeping my house clean. But I did everything the opposite way because I knew the way they did it could not have been right because it never felt right to me. And I was the one experiencing it, you know. But I was being taught to put yourself first, to put your man first. My mom put her man first. My foster mom put her man first. I've seen it. I've seen it be done. To be comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's what I was taught. You know what I mean? To sustain, you know, if bills or whatever couldn't be done by you, you put your big girl drawers on and you sustain until you can do what you can. That's what I watched both of these women do a lot of times. And it was like, it made me very disconnected to both of them. Very disconnected. People don't give kids enough credit. We see things exactly for what it is. As we get older, we get those rose-colored lens and we see stuff the way we think we hiding behind stuff. But kids see stuff for exactly what it is. And I seen stuff for exactly what it was. You know, and I do want to say thank you to my foster mom for never getting rid of us and sending us away or separating me and my sister, because me and my older sister, we were never separated. We was just separated for 1 month one time. My foster mom sent me away. Once again, I was acting out. I told y'all about that. And y'all know why I was acting out. I don't think she processed why I was acting out. And she sent me to a temporary foster family for a month. And I guess she needed a break. And I needed a break. You know, the family I was with, I can't say they were the worst, but I can't say they were the best. Their house was a zoo, literally. And I'm not talking about the people. They had really, I've never been to a place that had people who had over 16 pets. And that's how I know the system have changed, because I didn't even know they would allow kids to be in a place that had that many animals. And it was an interracial couple. The mom was black and the dad was white. They had biracial kids, and the mom had an older daughter outside of her marriage that was African American, full African American. She was really nice to me. The mom wasn't so nice to me. I remember her friends would give me compliments like, "Wow, she's really pretty little girl." And she said, like, "She all right." You know, I think she was a self-hating black sister. I really do. I think she had issues with color, and she and nothing against interracial, because if it wasn't for interracial love, me and a lot of my cousins wouldn't be here, okay? But personally, she was a woman of a darker skin tone. She wanted mixed babies. She even treated her daughter, who was by a black man, really weird. I'm pretty fair in color, and I still think she had a problem with me. That's just me. It's just stuff she said. I don't want to go too deep in about her. Maybe I could use that as another story time. My experience living with, her name was Miss Sue. Literally, Miss Sue. Like Miss Sue. Remember that? Miss Sue. Okay, that was so random. Miss Sue from Alabama. She came from, was it Indiana? Okay. But yeah, her name was Miss Sue, and she used to have like a fro, like a little fro. It was like a mini fro. Like, she looked like a Mandy Fresh, kind of. Mandy Fresh mixed with like Viola Davis. That's what she looked like. But anyway, that'll be another story time. But yeah, she sent me away my foster mom sent me away just that one time, and we needed a break from one another, okay? And when I came back, things was like okay for a little bit, you know. But anyways, my mom, I kind of want to not steer too far off that subject. But she wasn't doing, I don't feel, what she had to do to get us back, which was still subjecting us to this bull crap. You know what I'm saying? And she did a lot of blaming on other people. And I was just kind of like, I was getting older, so I was being aware. You know what I mean? Because I used to always blame everybody else. These are caseworkers. This auntie did this, and this person should have did that. And, you know, and it was just kind of like, you know, I belong to you, and you have to get this together, because if you don't get this together, I'm going to continue to go through this. So it started making me resentful towards my own mom, the person that I viewed that as. I think somebody said somewhere that parents are like God in the eyes of their children. Parents are like gods in the eyes of their children. And I could not explain it better. She went from being like this goddess in my eyes to just being like just like nothing. Like absolutely nothing. You had the power to stop this, and it just never it happened, but it just didn't happen soon enough. And it made me resent my family, my mother's family, extended family, because I said yesterday in a video that it was 16 of them, and no one stepped up. Even if you guys separated us, it was 4 of us at the time. My younger brother wasn't born yet. It was 4 of us at the time. Could nobody take 1 kid each? Even if y'all didn't take us all, or y'all didn't even have to take all 4, because my sister had a dad, and so did me and my other siblings. We all had fathers. That's gonna be another story time too, because there's 5 of us, and all 5 of us have our own dad, and I'm gonna explain that as well, because I know my mama catching a lot of flack in this video right now, because she didn't do a lot that I feel like she was supposed to do. But her children have fathers, and they did none of what they were supposed to do, except for some. I don't want to say all our fathers, because some of my sisters have, well, one of my sisters have a decent father. And the other one was decent too. He was a nice man. All of them were nice men, but they just didn't do what they had to do. I'm just have to keep it all the way real. They didn't do what they had to do all the time, with the exception of my one sister father that she was taken in by her dad. But yeah, you know, so it was just like, listen, lady, you know. And then my mom was always like a big disciplinary when we would be around her, and it just be like I start losing that respect. Like, how are you trying to discipline me all the time? And you start losing respect for this person. Like, respect is earned, you know. And she had lost so much of it, and she had earned no more respect going forward. So it was kind of like, so now I'm looking like a really, I talked about this yesterday, kids in the system are viewed as troubled children. But in the system, we become troubled children. I'm going to say that again. Kids that are put in the system are viewed as troubled before. But everything about me that was troubled came in the system. So I did become trouble. I did become a troubled child. I was being molested. I was being mentally abused, physically, sexually. You know, I was being mentally neglected. Kids are plants. You got to feed them, grow, make them grow and nurture them. And every now and again, like, just give them love. Just love on them. Every now and again, you're going to have to punish them or something. But even in punishing kids, it's a learning moment. You know, and Lord, but like I was talking about with my extended family, when I would be around them, they would say one thing, but they actions always meant a lot to me. It was in the not saying, it was in the doing for me. I was a really smart kid, and I remember being around some of my family members. And they would make comments like, y'all going home, I'm gonna send y'all back to Miss Tara. I remember spending summers with family members and weekends with family members, and they even got comfortable with the fact of someone else being responsible for my sister and I. When stuff would go on, they'd be like, well, I'm gonna call your foster mom to come get y'all. Like, as if it's saying, I'm finna call y'all daddy, or I'm finna call y'all mama to come get y'all. They were comfortable with it not being their problem. And a lot of these people were the same people who made the phone calls to place us there in the first place. The same people that when I would be around them and be like, I wanted to get y'all, I would have got y'all, I would have got y'all. My caseworker, I loved him dearly because he was very honest with me. And he said that they did their work to see if anyone would step forward. My neighbor's dog be going off. No one wanted to take us. That was one thing I was blessed with. My parents gave me a great mind. I was no fool, very, very, very young, okay? But I do appreciate the times where I was able to stay connected with my family through church, or sometime my foster mama, she would let up, you know, she would go visit her family in she had family in another state, and she would be okay with us. I think she just wanted her family time with her and her kids, and that was one moment that I really didn't give a damn about us not going with them, because we took advantage of the fact that she would actually allow us to spend the night with certain family members and be around our own family, which was great. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And I want to talk a little bit about being older, because I didn't want to go in about the stuff with my mom too much, because I remember I told y'all I wanted to do a different video about how it was returning back home after foster care, and how we got there in the first place. So that's kind of like some of the stuff I talked about in this video, but I didn't want to go too deep into it and kind of spoil the next video. But yeah, I just wanted to say, like, you know, I still had contact with these people, okay? Because you don't be around people for 5 years. All of my friends were probably some of their friends. You know, a lot of my friends' mamas was her friends. You know, so it would be things that would get back to me, things that would get back to my sister, you know, that was said or would be said, and you would be like, damn, like, I had hopes for you. I had high hopes for you. Be like, I was rooting for you. We all was rooting for you. Like, I'm really, like, because you still have these insecurities. When you go back home with your parents, you be thinking, like, well, they probably do love us. They just knew we wanted to go home with our mom and da-da-da-da-da. And to find out that it was said that if we couldn't go back with our mom, and this is hearsay. This is what somebody very close to my foster mom, when I say close, closer than close, have said to me about my foster mom, that it was said that if the judge didn't allow us back with our mom, she would have kept us or let us go on here to a group home or to another family. And apparently she said no, she wouldn't have kept us. And if you're watching, if you ever want to reach out and clarify, that's one thing I really want to know. Out of everything I have ever discussed, like, I would want to know that, you know, wow, maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. No, I don't. Because you said it right there. You said it. You said that you wouldn't. But I would have liked to know if it was true. But I think that don't really even matter at this point, you know. It was a lot of people close to her that would report back to me. You know, by then I'm late teens, early little adulthood. I was a young lady, but they would report back to me and they would tell me a lot of stuff. And it was tough because one of my foster brothers, I got really extremely close to him at a point. Like, all of the stuff that we went through as kids, it was just like, it didn't really mean nothing. That was my brother. That is my brother. And he used to hang out and come and spend the night at my apartment and everything, you know, bring his son and stuff like that. His son was a baby, so this has been many years ago. And I have even went back to my foster mom home and hung out with her because I tried to, even though I went through some things, I still found comfort in them at times because they were my family for so long. But it didn't last very long because there were still so many unanswered questions and so many discussions that needed to be had that hadn't been. And then here comes the predator back. And by then, I was bigger than him. So I was grown. I had my strength. I had my voice. So I wasn't going to, because I loved my foster mother so much and I still had a lot of respect for her, I decided to back off from them because he started kind of like popping up, like trying to be, it was as if I was never his sister and he was trying to pursue a girlfriend. That was the vibe. That was very weird to me. So it was just kind of like, oh, okay, like I would be friendly towards him, but it was just kind of like, do you remember? You gotta remember all of this stuff you did to me, and then now you carrying on like we went to high school together or something and I was your crush. It was just weird for me. So I just completely stepped back from that family again. This might be 10 years ago, you know, and I just stopped going around and I just stopped hanging out, you know, again with like one of my foster brothers or whatever. And the other one I never really found myself being too close to anyways. You know, they would take turns. I feel like one minute I'll be close to one when we were kids, and then I'll be close to the other one. Then I just didn't like none of them. Then I like them again. Then, you know, kid stuff. But when we got older, I was always much closer to one. One would come and support and stuff. And I think the wedge with him came from one time I was talking to a good friend of mine. She's more like family. And like I said, people that I consider friends and family are still really close to them. So my sister got married, and one of my foster brothers came, the one I'm talking about that I was really close to came, and it was so good to see him, and you know, it was nothing but love. But when I talked to this good friend of mine, and she was like, yeah, my mom and her got together and they were hanging out, and she brought it up about the wedding, that she wasn't invited, and that her son said that it was like ghetto and trashy and like, you know, all of this stuff. For one, that was untrue. My sister had the most beautiful wedding that I probably had ever been to. She was the most prettiest bride, and she took a lot of time in the details, okay, because she did almost everything herself. I even helped her decorate some stuff, down to the napkins, okay, being rolled. Every detail was so beautiful. So it was very like, Jesus, we let y'all back in our lives, and y'all doing the very thing that we tried to escape, ridicule things about us and be in our face like, y'all, it's all love and it's all good. You know, when we see y'all, we had a great time, and then to turn around and we get this back from somebody else, and y'all saying all these awful things. And I want to say the way I handled it was so awful. I handled it in the worst way. I was very young. Like I said, this has been almost 10 years ago. I was young. I was like early 20s, and Facebook was just up and coming, and I went off all on Facebook. I mean, I was saying so much stuff that I meant what I said, but I just feel like it could have been executed differently. I should have just reached out to them directly. And so then it became like this like big frenzy where like one of my foster brother wives was like commenting, and then they was like going back and forth with they were like arguing back and forth with some of my cousins. And I remember them like sharing pictures of one another and saying ugly things about one another. And it was just so unnecessary that it even got to that point, because number one, this young lady, I don't have anything against their wives. They seem to be beautiful women and nice women, but I have never had even a conversation with these women. So for them somehow to jump into something that they had nothing to do with, it escalated everything, because it was like, y'all wasn't there for none of this stuff. Y'all wasn't there. Y'all know them as adults. That's fine. That's great. I'm happy y'all in love with them and all that good stuff. Y'all probably got the good part of them, but when we was growing up, it was very different for us, you know? So it was just kind of like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like this have escalated, and it wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't cool. I mean, I would have loved to been able to be aunties to their kids. I would have loved to be sister-in-laws to their wives. You know what I'm saying? But it was just kind of like, whoa, like, okay. So then it really made a big wedge in the relationship between myself and my foster family. And then I don't believe my foster mom ever like said anything to me about it. She never reached out and like said nothing. I think she might have just like deleted me off of her Facebook or something like that. Like I said, y'all, this stuff is like 10 years ago. So I'm rehashing a lot of stuff. I'm not trying to upset nobody. I'm just saying what happened. You know, I'm not mad about none of that stuff no more. I'm just telling y'all what happened. I am friends with all my foster family, with the exception of that oldest one. It would be awkward to be friends with him. because I'm living in my truth. I'm older now, and when I was younger, I would see him and I would speak, or if he speak to me, which he very, very seldomly would do, because that's just how he is. But I'm not a rude person. But now that I'm older, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm cool on that. Like, I don't really feel the need to keep up appearance, like to make it seem like it was just fine, and it wasn't. But the other ones I have no issue with. They have went on to be fathers and husbands, and they appear to be pretty great people. So shout out to them. But other than that, you know, I don't really got too much more to talk about, elaborate on that. But yeah, that was my experience of, you know, being in foster care. You know, if y'all are mothers, I'm going to start here because sometimes you got to get in front of the problem. Mothers, if y'all need help, if y'all need therapy, if y'all need assistance, please ask for it. I know we strong black women, or we strong women, and I ain't asking nobody for nothing, and I don't need no help for my kids. Ask for help. And don't stop asking for help. Because your negligence affects your children until they're old enough to make their own life path and their own decisions to protect themselves. But anything you do and everything you do affects your children, and it affects them long term, because right now you're responsible for the format, the blueprint of what their life will be. Okay, so I'm saying that as the child, and now as the mother, but the child first. Okay, so I want to thank y'all again for watching the second part of this, what I like to, I guess I can call it a series. I keep saying, like, I don't want to call it a series. This ain't no production, but maybe so. But of this tell all and me opening up about some stuff going on in my life, please comment down below. And because sometimes, I tell you, I am a scatterbrain person. I jump and jump and jump, and sometimes I forget. If it's something that I missed and y'all have a question about, please feel free to ask questions. I want y'all to remember, for the people I said that were victims or the victimizer, or, you know, whatever. If you think you know someone that's going through right now, or you see any signs or, you know, things that you think kids are experiencing, if you're seeing signs and behavior or something like that, feel free, reach out and we could talk about it. Or if it's something that you're doing, you know, to get through what you went through, please share it with me, and I like to share with you what I do or done to get past some things that I have experienced. Okay, so make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, turn on them post notifications so y'all know when I'm coming with another video. Okay, y'all gotta keep subscribing so I can keep doing this. You know, I do have my own business and stuff like that, and I do YouTube as a hobby and something that I love to do, but we still want to grow. Okay, we still want to grow with everything that we're doing. We want to just reach new heights. Okay, so y'all make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, and thank you again for spending another day with Shonda K. Okay, peace.